Hi, Cynthia. I forgot to record this until the day of, and as you can see, I've got my fit from the journal on too. So to start with, the first illustration you wanted was the head to toe one, and so this is usually how I stand normally. It's been described as a little flamboyant. I won't dispute it. Alright, so my habitual gestures, personally, we got the go-to, this one. I don't know why I sit on this. I would describe it as closed and like fingers together, because usually I'm like this, like, I don't know. It's like closed upper body, open lower body, which I don't know if that's inviting or not. So do finger guns a lot. I figure it's fairly inviting, it's like a bang bang. It started off as an ironic thing I did as a joke, and now I can't stop. And I described it as open because it's like technically, like fingers are technically closed and all that, but it's like, it's like an open personality thing. Floating or flicking, it's like bang bang. Complete, just one fluid motion, and fingers together because my fingers are together. There's also what my friends have described as the early 2000s hair flip, especially right now because my hair is so long. I'll be sitting there and go like, before I talk, and it makes me look like a early 2000s rock star. I describe that as floating or slashing, especially just with like the quick whip of it, and as complete because, like I said, it's just one motion. Neck crack. Oops, I said a bad word. Is also fairly self-explanatory. I have a bunch of neck issues, and so like I'll just be sitting there going like, not something that's good for me, but it's something I can't help anymore. It's kind of become like a habit. I described it as closed because it kind of looks confrontational, ringing, complete, and it's from the head. And then I only described that one as from the head, and haven't really described where the other ones come from because it's fairly obvious where they come from. But that one, like, rather than leading with like the rest of my body, I specifically lead with the head. And then this one, I asked for help from some of my friends, and they said I sit like this constantly. I don't know what I honestly never realized, and then I looked back on a bunch of pictures of me, and I'm sitting like this in all of them. So that was something I learned. I described it as closed and then complete and from my hips because the only way to do it is like moving the hip pretty much. I'm sorry. Okay. So now looking at other people's gestures, I was watching while I was in a class. For starters, one of my friends, they sit like this, like against a wall. I don't know how they do it. They can do this for hours. They do it for hours, and honestly, it looks very painful. There's also, I described it as gliding and open, because it's like, it is fairly inviting. It's like, like when someone's like, hey champ, you got this, when you're doing Little League soccer. This one I described as a sun salutation because, you know what those are. But like, there was just someone sitting in a chair in front of me and they went, and I was like, well, that's an easy one to write down, so I did. I described it as open and from the hands, but I feel like you kind of lead with your whole body with that one, so I was a little confused there. There was a friend who was like, every about 15 seconds was like shifting where they were holding their weight and like moving like that, like this. They got a little bit of that going. I described it as being open, almost hesitant, as well as dabbing where they are standing specifically, like not being in one place for very long. Someone's kicking their legs back and forth. They are a very short individual, which I am not, so I'm gonna just kind of like going like that in place. And first off, I didn't know there were people that were short enough to be able to do that in these chairs. So I was kind of impressed. Second off, I described it as open because like just continuously opening your legs. Hesitant, almost like an anxious move just from the looks of them. It's not generally anxious. As well as gliding, just because they're gliding through the air. And then also, someone in that class, whenever they talks like a supervillain because they talk like this. And so I called it the Dr. Evil slash fly, like whenever a fly lands, they go like this. I called it the Dr. Evil and Fly hand wringing. And I described it as hesitant and ringing, obviously. Oh, and that's all of them. So I will leave you with this. You must grade my paper within the next 3 million hours, or else I won't get a grade at the end of the semester, and it'll be really awkward when we have to fill out stuff. I'm so sorry. This is not actually a threat. Please do not perceive this as a threat. I'm just a silly little man.